today on Public Eye News, the UP Children's Museum is in need of artists and boat capsizes in Lake Superior.
Later in the show, I will have your weather and Ross Ray will have your sports. Hi, I'm Caleb Rydell.
And I'm Jillian Wormliger, and welcome to Public Eye News. For the 6th annual Paint Baraga Avenue Festival, the Upper Peninsula Children's Museum is looking for artists. This event is part of the Chalk Painting Festival and Contest, which is hosted by Baraga Avenue Harvest Fest. The year's theme revolves around spooky fun and creating a nightmare on Baraga Avenue. The Paint Baraga Festival will be held on October 5th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Organizers encourage people of all ages to come and help bring their vision to life. And the Defense, POW, and MIA Accounting Agency announced yesterday that U.S. Army Air Forces Corporal Walter J. Kella of Ironwood, Michigan, who was killed during World War II, was accounted for on July 23, 2019. In 1942, Kella was a member of the 17th Pursuit Squadron, 24th Pursuit Group, when Japanese forces invaded the Philippine Islands. Intense fighting continued until the surrender of the Bataan Peninsula on April 9, 1942, and of Corregidor Island on May 6, 1942. Thousands of U.S. and Filipino service members were captured and interned at prisoner of war camps. Kella was among those reported captured after the surrender and held at the POW camp. Scientists from DPAA identified his remains through dental analysis and material evidence. Kella will be buried on October 5, 2019 in his hometown.
And they have estimated that there have roughly been 10,000 shipwrecks in the Great Lakes, with around 350 of them being in the Lake Superior's waters. The waters of the Great Lakes can be deadly, and evidence of that can be viewed at the scene of the Minnesota Lake Superior waters yesterday. The St. Louis County Sheriff's Office shared news today that Donald J. Sarter, a 68-year-old Wisconsin man, has died after his boat capsized. At 11 a.m. on Monday, Sarter's 21-foot Monarch aluminum-hulled boat capsized after the engine became waterlogged. On Sarter's boat was 2 passengers that survived the sinking of the boat and were able to make it to shore safely. Sarter was not as lucky. And the City Commission of Marquette held a meeting Monday for the discussion of marijuana facilities in town, but also to discuss the Cliffs Dow site. Adult marijuana facilities are continuing discussion in the Marquette City Council, and the meeting yesterday was a way for citizens to voice their opinions on the matter. The public hearing regarding the marijuana facilities will be held October 15th. The Cliffs Dow site was also a big piece of yesterday's meeting, as the City Council hosted discussion about what to do with the site. This discussion was brought about due to the proposed sale of the zoned municipal to the Viridia Group, with many concerns about developing the contaminated land. The public hearing for the Cliffs Dow site is set for October 28th.
According to the Michigan State Police Calumet Post, troopers were called to a crash at the 4-lane intersection of US 41 and Highway Road in Boston location at approximately 8 a.m. on Monday. Trooper investigation determined 77-year-old Lila Hobmeyer was in the left northbound lane of US 41 attempting to turn left onto Highway Road when she struck the vehicle of 32-year-old Rebecca Mikola, who was traveling in the left southbound lane of US 41. Mikola's vehicle stopped in the ditch and she was injured and unable to get out of the car. The Calumet Township Fire Department was able to help Mikola from her vehicle. She was then transported to UP Health System Portage by Mercy EMS. Troopers say she is listed in stable condition. And Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed a $59 billion state budget while vetoing nearly $1 billion in spending proposed by the Republican-led legislator. The Democrats' signature Monday night ensures state government is funded for the fiscal year starting today. However, Whitmer issued 147 line-item vetoes, or $947 million, from a spending plan for which she had no input in recent weeks following a breakdown in road funding talks. Just today, a state board she controls is expected to move money within departmental budgets. It's a step used just once before by a governor to go around the legislator. The Michigan Supreme Court upheld the practice in 1993. And after this break, we'll be back with your national and international news.
He was embraced as a reformer.
He sold himself, he sold his vision.
People were mesmerized.
But there was another side.
There were dissidents who were tortured.
Princes and big business people put under constant observation.
He seemed to get more committed to going after his enemies the more powerful he became.
And then a brutal murder.
Did the regime kill Jamal Khashoggi?
Frontline investigates.
Even the president said this is the worst cover-up I've ever seen.
tonight at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back. Disaster struck Taiwan as a towering arch bridge collapsed today, which is believed to be due to the typhoon that it hit earlier in the day. The collapse of the 460-foot-long bridge at 9:30 a.m. sent a burning oil tanker falling onto boats that were below the bridge. Over 60 military personnel in fishing vessels and on an Air Force helicopter are searching for victims of the disaster. 6 foreigners are missing and believed to be trapped in one of the fishing boats. 10 people have been sent to the hospital, 6 of which having serious injuries. The Taiwanese president is sending all available departments to try and help with the search and rescue of people involved in the collapse. And as part of their impeachment inquiry, the House Democrats have subpoenaed President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. He is in the center of the allegations that the president pressured Ukraine to investigate political rival Joe Biden's family. Natalie Brand is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, says he's still weighing whether to testify before House Democrats in the presidential impeachment inquiry.
I don't know if they let me use videotapes and tape recordings that I have.
A new subpoena sent to Giuliani Monday alleges he pressed the Ukrainian government to pursue 2 politically motivated investigations. One involves the 2016 campaign, and the other involves former Vice President Joe Biden, now a Democratic presidential frontrunner. In 2014, Biden's son Hunter joined the board of a Ukrainian natural gas company.
Who would pay him millions of dollars to go on a company that had to be reformed? They bought Joe Biden's office.
Ukraine's former top prosecutor has said there's no evidence of wrongdoing by the Bidens.
Giuliani is listed as a central figure in the whistleblower complaint publicly released late last week. Now House committees want all documents related to his dealings with Ukraine since President Trump's inauguration.
One of Giuliani's contacts mentioned in the subpoena is the mayor of Kiev. He spoke to CBS's Roxana Saberi.
So you've never spoken about the Bidens or election interference, anything about it?
Never, ever.
Saberi also spoke to a former Ukrainian lawmaker and former advisor to newly elected President Vladimir Zelensky, who says Giuliani tried to set up a meeting shortly after Zelensky's election this past spring.
I'm sure that issue of Biden was forever on the table between Zelensky and Trump.
Giuliani has denied any wrongdoing. He also has named 2 State Department officials he says knew about his outreach. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
France's highest court ruled that former president will stand trial on charges of illegally financing his 2012 campaign. The Court of Cassation rejected an appeal by Nicolas Sarkozy, France's former president, on Tuesday, confirming the case will face criminal court. Sarkozy is facing allegations that his campaign fraudulently spent and tried to cover up 22.5 million euros. The claims are based around whether he knew of the alleged false billing and fraud going on through the campaign's public relations company. Sarkozy has faced several corruption investigations since leaving office, and his most recent trial date has not been set. And police in Hong Kong say a protester was shot by an officer during violent demonstrations, coinciding with China's anniversary celebrations. Police used tear gas and water cannons to disperse crowds in the city's central business district overnight. Today marks 70 years since the founding of the People's Republic of China. Remy Inocencio reports from Hong Kong.
Broken glass and fires turned the streets of Hong Kong into a battleground. Police quickly swooped in to subdue crowds of black-clad protesters, first using tear gas and water cannon, and then by firing warning shots. Video posted online appears to show a police officer shooting a demonstrator at close range. According to reports, the man is in critical condition. Hours earlier, China's military might was on full display in Beijing as the country celebrated 70 years of communist rule. Speaking to a hand-picked crowd of thousands, President Xi said China must adhere to the principle of peaceful reunification and one country, 2 systems. But today was anything but peaceful, a culmination of the violence the city has endured since June, when anger over a controversial extradition bill sparked Hong Kong's summer of discontent. Pro-democracy activist Joshua Wong.
How does this realistically end? I hope this will end with free election. That's our dream and our role and responsibility is to turn our dream from impossible to be possible.
But it was more of a nightmare here on the streets in Hong Kong today. At times, it seemed like a war zone with screams in the air and sirens also coming from ambulances and fire trucks. Meantime, Chinese President Xi Jinping said that he wants long-term stability for Hong Kong, but looking around at what happened today, stability is definitely not here. Ramy Inocencio, CBS News, Hong Kong.
And stay tuned. After this break, we'll be back with your weather and sports.
Our cities are the fastest growing habitat in the world. And humans aren't the only ones trying their luck in the big city. These resourceful animals are moving in and adapting to life in the concrete jungle, finding new opportunities in unexpected places. Their new urban lifestyle is turning our cities into the wild metropolis.
Wednesday night at 10 after Nova on WNMU TV.
Hi, I'm Caleb Riddell, going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me on the NMU campus, it's quite cloudy out there. And let's try and get into your current conditions out there. We have cloudy with a temperature of 58 degrees, winds out of the north at 13 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 29.96 inches and rising. Take a look tomorrow or tonight. We're going to see cloudy out there with a low of 45, winds out of the north at 15 miles per hour. It's going to stay cool out there with cloudy of high with 50 and winds out of the northeast at 16 miles per hour tomorrow. And then take a look across the UP. We're going to see a whole lot of clouds out there, starting with Sault Ste. Marie with 57, 61 in Manistee, Escanaba with 63, and down in Menominee 64. Taking a look at the western half of the UP, 62 in Iron Mountain, Ironwood with 54. With 54, up in the Keweenaw with 56, back here in Marquette with that 58 degrees and cloudy. Let's take a look at your week ahead. Now on Thursday, we are looking at a high of 48 with a low of 42 and some rain out there, with Friday having a high of 50 with a low of 40 and partly cloudy. Saturday with a high of 54, a low of 47, and some showers out there. Well, it seems like it's going to be a good time to stay inside, Ross, and I hear we have some sports on the inside this time.
Of course we do. The multiplayer online battle arena video game League of Legends will start the play-in stage for their World Championships tomorrow in Berlin. 12 teams will play in a double round-robin format, with the top 8 teams advancing to the second round of play-ins, where then the 4 finalists will compete each other with the other 12 teams for a chance at the throne in the Palacio Vastidage Arena in Madrid. Group stage's 12 teams come from all over the world, where North American Team C9 and Team Liquid will be competing with G2 and Europe's G2 and Fnatic, the South Korean team SKT, and last year's champions, the Chinese team Invictus Gaming. But the North American team for play-ins will be the unpredictable Clutch Gaming. They take on Germany's Unicorns tomorrow on twitch.tv/RiotGames at 7 a.m. The Cardinals secure the National League Central Division Championships in their last game of the regular season with a 0-9 victory over the Chicago Cubs. The 23-year-old pitcher Flaherty tossed 7 impressive innings. He gave up 2 hits, struck in 6, and walked one in an efficient 6-9 pitch stint. Paul Goldschmidt, had 3 hits, adding to his team high of 34 home runs, with Dexter Fowler hitting 2, making this his new career highest at 19 home runs. This will make the first Division Championships title since 2015 for the Cardinals. They will take on the Atlanta Braves on Thursday in Atlanta in the NLDS beginning. And that's all the time we have for today's show. Thank you for tuning in to Public Eye News, and be back tomorrow for some more.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.